Welcome to the Holiday Decor Podcast, your source for the year-round celebration of holiday hope and seasonal cheer. To help you usher season's greetings into your home, here's your host, Ann McDonald.
Would you love for your holiday home to feel like a $5 million estate without looking like Hobby Lobby exploded in your living room? Well, if so, we have the perfect episode for you. Today, I'm talking about 5 holiday decor mistakes that, well, lean in, friends, luxury holiday designers never actually make. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors with today's episodes about don't make these mistakes, friends, if you want it to look like the pros. Are you a decorator, designer, or lifestyle pro who wants to sell out your holiday season before it even starts? Whether you offer trees, tables, trimmings, or even just your time, you need to know how to package your services into premium holiday offers that clients actually say yes to. That's exactly what we're covering in this free training at seasonalrichmasterclass.com. You're going to learn how to turn your creative skills into sellable holiday packages, how to price your services for profit without second guessing, how to attract premium clients who are ready to book early and book big, and how to avoid burnout by offering smart, streamlined packages that actually work for you. Now, this training isn't about decorating tips. It's actually about getting paid well for what you already do as a designer, as a decorator, or maybe even a lifestyle professional who wants to level up your brand by offering some holiday services. We're going to do this in a way that feels elevated, effortless, and gets you fully booked. So go register right now at www.seasonalrichmasterclass.com. Again, that's www.seasonalrichmasterclass.com. Let's make this your most profitable and fun season ever. I know not everybody is looking for a professionally designed holiday decor home. I get that. I mean, we've got a ski cabin, and the truth is, one of the things that we do in the ski cabin is it's a little more, well, understated, a little more natural, a little more low key. However, when we're not at the cabin, we're in other spaces and places. Those spaces and places can call for that over the top, designed, and, well, elegant look. That's what I'm going to cover today on the podcast. So let me ask you again. Would you like to know how to make your holiday home look and feel like a multi-million-dollar estate without looking like you just went to Hobby Lobby and maxed out a credit card? Well, if so, this episode is for you. I'm talking about the 5 mistakes that luxury designers never make, especially when decorating for the holidays. Now, stick with me until the end because I'm actually going to be sharing my Luxe Holiday Booking Blueprint, a proven system to create million-dollar looking homes with simplicity and ease. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in. Now, for those of you who don't know, my name's Ann McDonald, and for over 30 years, I was in the luxury interior design and decorating space before I found my true passion in the holiday and celebration space, holiday decorating, manufacturing, designing, and helping other designers and decorators add these services. So when I say the luxury holiday designers don't make these mistakes, I've been in the trenches. I put this episode together because a lot of times clients would come to me and they were working on DIYing their own homes. And they'd be like, Ann, how do I actually get the look without spending the bucks? So get out a pencil. Let's take some notes. Mistake number 1. Have you ever been in a space or a place, a home where there was clutter everywhere? Well, mistake number 1 is what I call cluttered chaos. Luxury, true luxury, is never busy. It's never overstuffed with stuff. It's actually very intentional. And what's interesting is that, especially when it comes to holiday decor, most people overbuy it. I have a funny story about that. There was one year, my warehouse manager, his name was Daniel. I decided, hey, let's actually find out what we've got in our holiday decor stash, if you will, in our inventory. And you know those big blue tarps that you use? Well, Daniel and I did, we pulled out these big blue tarps and we kept setting stuff on it, like realizing that I had a sea of inventory that even as a professional was just too much. There was no plan or really organized structure to it, just kind of looked like a bunch of junk. So when I say cluttered chaos and that luxury is never busy, I really do mean it. Many people think more ornaments, more garland, and more sparkle actually equals better. But the truth is, luxury holiday design is about the edit. One of the things I like to say is that people actually pay for the edit. So, how do we do that, Anne? How do we actually stay away from that chaotic, busy, overbought look? Well, first, I want you to think about setting your color palette. 3 colors max. That's very important, actually. The second thing I want you to focus on is decorating different zones. Maybe the entryway, the tree, a family room, the mantle, and a table. And then you want to leave breathing room. You want to make space for your eyes and your physicality to rest in the space. The truth is, what you leave out is just as important as what you include. Now, mistake number 2. Have you ever been in a house that was either too dark or too light, or you walked in and you were like, something tells me in my spidey senses that I'm not looking very good in this room right now. There's something off about the light. Well, mistake number 2 that luxury designers never make is they're always acutely aware that lighting is like the jewelry of the home. Luxury designers never rely on overhead lights. Yep, I said it. You know those overhead can lights? Well, the truth is, I like them. They work, they're very practical. But the truth is, when you are designing a luxury holiday vignette, you never want to rely on that overhead light. You want to actually layer lighting like an art director would layer light. And one of my insider tips is that I will often uplight things that you don't often uplight during the regular year. You want to use warm white lights. You don't want to use the bright fluorescent white lights. You want to layer light sources. You'd like things like lamps, fairy lights, even candles, battery operated. And you want to uplight your greenery for a dramatic high end effect. That's the second mistake. Let me ask you a question. So you've got the space, it's not too cluttered. You've got the lighting and it's not harsh, it's not too much. It's actually just really elegant. The third one, and this is a doozy, friends. So, have you ever been to a craft store? Actually, let me ask you this. Let me ask it this way. Have you ever been to the craft store, picked up a roll of ribbon, and thought, "My Lord, I could actually take my family out to dinner, or I could buy this ribbon"? Well, the truth is, the ribbon that works in luxury environments is expensive for a reason. Mistake number 3 is luxury designers don't use cheap fabrics or cheap ribbon. Now, I love ribbon and I love fabrics, and even I can be overwhelmed sometimes with the price of some of the ribbons these days. But the truth is, the texture, the jewels, all of that, it really is a giveaway. What you want to do is you want to think about using high level ribbons, velvet, satins, or even real silk. You also want to think about using wired ribbon so that you can drape it professionally. It stays where you actually put it. For our top luxury clients, I'm always saying ahead of time, the ribbon, it might actually be its own line item. I'm saying ahead of time, ribbon, it might actually be its own line item in the budget. But it's just like fashion, right? When you are going to an important event, you don't want to get the cheapest dress. I have a funny story about this. Let me tell you this funny story. So, there was one time my husband and I were invited to this kind of big fancy pants dinner type thing. And well, at the time, we did not have very much disposable income. The kids were little and, it just wasn't a lot to go around at the time. But we had to go to this event and it was a black tie event. And so I was like, oh boy, I need to buy a dress. Well, I didn't have much money at the time to buy dresses. So I went and I bought a dress. It wasn't very expensive. And can I tell you a really funny story? Now, I've never shared this anywhere, and I think I actually kept the secret from the people at the table. But when I stood up after the dinner, I noticed that the color on my dress had actually ended up on the chair. That was how cheap the dress was. In that moment, I panicked. I was like, how am I going to get out of the room? What am I going to do? And I just very quietly slipped my coat on, which had been on the back of my chair. Thank goodness it wasn't actually at a coat check. I was able to slip it on, and I took my napkin and I draped it over the chair. I was mortified. I learned my lesson then. Never buy a super cheap dress where the color is actually going to come out of the dress the first time you wear it. Now, it's the same thing when you're doing luxury holiday decor. You want to use fabrics and ribbon that are well made, that will stand the test of time. So, mistake number 3 luxury designers never make is they don't use cheap fabrics and ribbon. I'd actually rather see you do fewer rooms and do the fewer rooms with better quality items than to try to do too much stuff and go cheap. All right, we're going to take a quick break again for one of our sponsors. Why? Because we want to make space for you. We want to invite you to some of these free events that we have created just for you. When we come back, we're going to be talking about a mistake that a lot of people, well, they overlook. So we'll be right back. Attention, savvy suburbanites and perpetual volunteers. Do you constantly get asked about helping someone with their quote unquote holiday decorating, and then they just want to take you out to lunch or maybe buy you dinner? Well, if that's you, I want to invite you into a free exclusive training designed to specifically help you to actually learn how to package up your holiday decorating. You know, that knack, that skill set, that talent, that gift from God that you have. We're going to train you how to actually package that up specifically so that people will not only value what you carry, but they'll pay you for your skill set. Head over right now and register for seasonalrichmasterclass.com. Yes, in this Seasonal Rich Masterclass, we're actually going to train you how to actually have a rich season. I'm going to help you understand how to confidently tackle packaging your premium services, even if you've never done it before. I'm going to share with you the secrets to pricing to actually have premium clients say yes and book now. Then time-saving strategies that will help you not sacrifice your actual lifestyle. You don't want to be waiting in lines at craft stores and climbing up and down ladders all the time. It's time you actually got paid for your skill set. Register now for free over at www.seasonalrichmasterclass, and let's get your business ready for a very profitable holiday season. Again, that's www.seasonalrichmasterclass.com. Mistake number 4. Have you ever walked into a house that, well, between you, me, and the lamppost, it smelled bad? Right? Have you ever walked into a house where there was just noise going on? Maybe they had the TV on or they had the radio on. It just was not a pleasant experience. Well, mistake number 4 that luxury holiday designers never make is they never skip the scent and the sound. Now, I know it's very important that we don't bring scents into the house that are unhealthy, but there are fabulous ways to have healthy scents that actually permeate your home without overwhelming it. The truth is, luxury design speaks to all of our five senses. Think about starting with a scent. You want to diffuse things like fir, cedar, or even orange cloves, one of my favorite. You also want to add in soft background music. Spaces and places have energy. And one of the things that we want to do is enable that energy with good, positive resonance. So it could be something as simple as a jazz or an acoustic sound, maybe even a holiday or classical Christmas. Thing is, you just want to be mindful about the atmosphere that you're creating. The goal? Your home should smell like a designer candle before they even see the tree. Now, mistake number 5 is actually one of the things that I built my entire holiday decor brand on. When I first got started, some of you have heard the story before, but have you ever been working with a client and you realize that something is incredibly off? And you have to think about it for a minute. Maybe you have to leave the space. Maybe you've been in a situation and you had I like to call it your spidey senses. Your spidey senses come out and you're like, something's wrong here, but I can't quite pinpoint it. Well, mistake number 5 that luxury designers never make is they never miss the concept of a story or a theme. The truth is, luxury decor is like a stage set. It always tells a story. We have several different types of stories that we invite clients into to make a choice from. It could be all about heritage and memories. It could be all about style and glamour. It could be all about even form and function. The truth is, if you're having a fabulous party this year, your story actually has to be designed around the function, right? So instead of having that great big Christmas tree that takes up the entire front hall, you actually have to make it a little slimmer because you're going to have more people walking through that front hall. Well, a story or a theme is lovely to repeat in every detail. And if you've listened to any of these other episodes, you know I love the theme being woven all the way through. Even the right gift wrapping, right? Now, I even did one Tinsel Time episode where I shared with you that we actually like to match the food to the decor. I mean, that is truly over the top, right? But it's fun. It comes around once a year. I mean, the season of celebration, as we like to call it. So that's what actually makes a space feel designed, not just decorated. Isn't that why we love to go into the stores in the first place? The beautiful department stores that are decorated for the holidays. I mean, that's the fun part, isn't it? That's where we get to see the magic. And bringing that magic, that majesty back to our own home with just a few things. What are they? Make sure that your home, your holiday decor, has a story or a theme. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just give it a place to land. Next, going in reverse, make sure that you don't skip the scent and the sound, especially if you have pets in the house. Mistake number 3, well, don't go cheap on the fabrics and the ribbon. Better to have less but well made and well done. Remember, you don't want to have your dress leaving the color stain on the chair like my dress did at that event. Mistake number 2, which is number 4 as I'm going in reverse, is think about lighting. We don't ever want to rely on those overhead lights. And then finally, remember to remove the chaos. True luxury, is never busy. It's very intentional, even if there's a whole lot of stuff in the space. So let me ask you a question. Has this sparked some ideas for you? Since you're listening to this, and when I'm recording this podcast, it's actually April. And one of the reasons I decided to go ahead and start doing the podcasts all year is that people would send messages in and they'd say, Ann, I listened to the podcast, but it's a little late in the season. My tree is already up and it's already go time. So give yourself a little bit of space to plan. The truth is, if you're a designer or it's just sparked ideas for your home, make sure to download our Luxe Holiday Booking Blueprint. You'll get my exact system to attract, book, and delight luxury clients. no guesswork, and no overwhelm. You can also visit our Seasonal Rich Masterclass, our Holiday Decor Home website, and get ideas. The truth is, luxury, it's not about money. It's actually about mastery. Let me say that again. Luxury isn't about bank accounts. It's not about overspending just because you can spend the money. That's not it at all. True luxury is about mastering the art of space and place, personal and corporate. Think about it. If you are able to eliminate the chaos, weave a story through, create an atmosphere with sight and sound and light, and not have the space filled with junky clutter. Instead, you had fine fabrics and fine ribbons. Well, even the smallest of homes would be luxury. Thank you for joining us on today's podcast. Make sure to enjoy the resources that my team and I have been putting together. And if you're not on our email list, well, we have a space with your name on it for homeowners, professionals, and the certified tracks. Seasonal Rich, our new program inside of the Holiday Decor home site, is the place where you're going to be able to celebrate the season with a reason. Thank you for listening to today's podcast. Make sure to check out those show notes at www.holidaydecorhome.com. I want to invite you to subscribe, rate, review, and share the Holiday Decor Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere awesome podcasts are found.
Thank you for listening. For more information and tips on how to turn your home into a place of joy this holiday season, please visit holidaydecorhome.com.